Hello folks, Club Digger here. Well, the weather's been so terrible recently with rain and wind and everything else that it's been very difficult to put together enough footage from club digs to make a worthwhile video. So I've actually amalgamated the footage from the most recent club dig with footage from my own permissions and one or two interesting finds, so hope you enjoy it.
Right, look out. Big enough for reasonable 26, so I'm almost certain that's going to be a coin. Little pointer, sim pointer, and there it is. There's that button. Oh no, it's a sixpence, so we're on the silver. That's a little Vicky, it's nice and clean. Alright folks, well, we're on our own permission today, not a club dig. Despite being called Club Digger, I do have a couple of permissions. This is fairly new permission, and there was a battle fought here a long time ago, and well, near here anyway. I've got a load of fields. It's a beautiful piece of land, but I'm just working on pasture today at the moment, and first coin, silver, 50 silver, so we'll see how we go. On to the next. Okay, possible. Key, very old key, not a very exciting key, but a key. Right, not a decent signal, a little bit mixed, but just get it. Oh, see it there, look. Coin, it looks silver. Oh, it's not that old. 1942. Well, another silver. Like I said, not full silver, but hey, there we go. Well, I just unearthed this little button. For a minute I thought it was a hammered, and I was really annoyed because I hadn't filmed it, but it is just a button with a sort of silver wash on it. Not bad for a button. Not keen on buttons, especially when they look like hammered, but there you go. Looked like a hammered, felt like a hammered, isn't a hammered. Boo-hoo, on to the next.
Okay folks, so here's the roundup from the first permission. There we've got the 1942 sixpence that you saw me dig up. Not too bad. And there's the Vicky sixpence, a bit more worn. That's 1859. Just make out the date on the bottom there. There's the button that I thought was a hammered, so there's silver wash in it. There's the key, quite a weird key. It's got a, looks like a copper finish on it. Not a great find. This one I didn't video. It's a pretty large pot leg, quite some weight to that. I assume it's a pot leg anyway. And that came off one of the pasture fields. So there's probably some age to that, so promising. Some interesting finds to come out of there, hopefully, in the future when I get back there.
Oh, there's something in here. It's not very big. Let's just see. Oh, it's a hammered. silver, it's got some sort of pattern. I don't know, but it looks silver. So there, we're on the silver fragment of something. Well, on to the next. Okay, we've got something in here. It's just there. What we've got. Oh. Quite interesting. Pipe tamper or something like that. Quite a nice little object. Well, I've just took this, and it's no ordinary coin. I thought it was a coin at first, but I'm not quite sure. I think it's a little token of some sort, very thin. It's not silver, it's copper alloy. As you can see on the wet, there's kind of some sort of writing around the edge. There's some sort of shape in the middle, but I think that is a trade token. About the right size. Good. On to the next. Well, it's a windy old day. Just had a good signal. It's out of the hole. I know it's in here somewhere. Kind of cross on it. What this is? Some sort of badge or a buckle of some sort, perhaps. Anyway, it has a cross on it. It's obviously had some gilt on it at one stage. It's an interesting one. One to clean up later. Right, we've got a decent signal. It's out of the hole somewhere. Oh, it's a coin, I think. Oh no, it's a button. One of those with a sort of star in the middle, as you can just about see. The whole thing's got a star on it. It's a bit more exciting than the normal old flat button, but hey, still a button. Oh well, on to the next. It's been a slow day. I've just had this. I didn't film it coming out, but is it a purse bar? I'm not sure. It's a bit weird. It looks like brass. It's probably not that old really, but I don't know. I really don't know. That's one for someone else to have a look at, see if we can find out, but it's certainly something I've never seen before, and this revolves. So, not sure. Not sure at all.
So I went home and looked on the internet and I found this, which I don't think it's Saxon or Viking, but it looks like it was a purse bar after all.
Right, we've got a little find here somewhere. There's a lot of stuff in the claggy mud at the moment. It's difficult to see. Button maybe? Right, something else. Some kind of got two studs on the back. Some kind of small mount. Some age to it. Anyway, It's not a button, which is nice. So there you go, we'll clean that one up. Have a look in the roundup. Onto the next, something old at last.
Okay, so here are finds from the second permission. Quite an array of things, really. That's what I think is a buckle. You saw me dig up with the cross on it. Not quite sure. There's obviously a couple of tags here that look like they've something else has broken off, so I'm assuming it's a buckle of some sort, possibly ecclesiastical, so if you know, let us know. There's the pipe tamper. It's quite a nice little object, copper alloy. Quite like those, I've found a couple of those before. That's the button with the stars on it, bit of gilt on there. No shank. Thimble, pretty knackered, but there you go. Quite a few of these little tags. They give a great signal. That's a small fragment of silver that I thought was a hammy at first, but alas it wasn't. But it seems to be silver. Don't know what it's from. Something quite interesting, a bit arts and craftsy possibly. Then didn't film this, but I think that's the remnants of a Roman. Actually, it's so far gone that it's difficult to tell. But if it is, it shows there's something of age on that site, because I rarely find anything older than Georgian on there. But then this huge piece of bronze came out. I didn't film that as well. But this is a curious object. I really don't know what it is. I'm going to take that to the museum to have someone look at it. I work at the museum, so I can easily get colleagues to have a look. What appears to be a bronze knife tip, or even sword tip, or maybe a arrowhead, I don't know, but that's bronze. That came off the same site, so yet again something quite old. There's the little mount, that looks like it's had some gilding on it, so that was the thing I was pleased wasn't a button. And Devonshire Regiment button came up. Then horse brass, you always get one or two of those, and another sort of possibly harness mount of some sort. And then an assortment of coins that all basically Georgian and Vicky grot. And then buttons. I thought that might have been a half cut, but it's not. It's just a piece of copper, so boo-hoo, nothing exciting. Usual flat buttons. That just about rounds it up off that side, but quite an interesting little array. The purse bar did turn out to be a possibly post-medieval or late medieval post bar, and that's with the flow at the moment. Almost forgot the trade token, but it's so difficult, there's not a lot on there. There's some kind of rhyme, but it's so far gone.
Okay, I've got a signal down here. It's quite a nice day. It's been raining, the ground is absolutely soaking. So let's get the pointer in there. I might see something. See that in the hole? I don't know what it is. Rubbish possibly. Well, got some age to it anyway, whatever that is. It's got a pattern on it though. This could be something quite old. This could be something, yeah, I don't know. Or is it part of something that was bigger? I don't know. Quite interesting, chaps. We'll see what the rest of the club think of that. Another signal down here. See something green. Crotal perhaps, yes, look at that. Excellent. Oh, oh yes. We'll give that a clean up. Well, it's a bit wet for live digs, but I've just turned this one out of the hole. It's a big old penny of some sort. Oh, I fall over. A bit on the wet grass. George of some sort, I should imagine, because it's quite hefty. Quite a big one. There's not a lot on it, as usual with the coins around here. Yeah, you just make out a bust on there, I'm guessing. Looking to the right, can't quite make out the numbers. Possibly George III, George II, I'll have to check, I'm not that familiar. But it's a coin, at last. Yeah, you can just sort of make out Britannia, but it's very faint. Oh, it's a coin, on to the next, chaps. Here you go.
So finally, here's the roundup from the club dig. A couple of horse brasses. Like I say, often get a lot of these. I think that's either a horse brass or a huge button, difficult to tell. This was that mount that I found, which is quite interesting. It's kind of a symmetrical shape, maybe some sort of pendant hanger. There's nothing on the back of it, but it's got a kind of cross on the front. You can see that in focus. I think there's some age to that. It's one of the more interesting finds that came out of the dig. Tantalising little fragment of bronze, which has got a little mount clip on the back, but there's nothing on the front. First I thought it was a piece of a Roman, but alas, no. Buttons as usual, one with silver wash on, which always nice to see shining out of the mud. That pistol ball coin turned out to be a big George III. William III halfpenny came out, but it's pretty far gone. You can't really see it on the film. You have to have raking light on it, which I can't really set up very easily for the camera. Usual Georgian grot coins. Another button. Crotal bell, still a ringer, but unfortunately it's a bit mashed. But there is a number 5 on there and a few little bits of pattern on it, so quite nice. It's the most intact one I've ever found. But the most interesting find, which I didn't actually film, was what I first thought were some coins fused together, and they caused a bit of interest. Thought it might be onto a hoard, but then there was nothing else in the hole, and I scraped away at it, realising that they weren't anything seriously valuable. And it's some kind of base metal, possibly, I don't think it's lead, but it's some sort of casting, and it's a casting of Vicky half sovereigns, which is rather bizarre. It's hard to make out, but you can see the shield on there, and there's a bit of Victoria's head. So quite an unusual find. Don't know what that was for, what it was from. It was literally about a foot away from that Crotal bell, and yeah, quite interesting. Finally, have you ever wondered what some of those old grots actually were? Well, I dig up lots of crummy coins that really you would think there's nothing on them, but sometimes if you put them on a satinizing machine, which is good for scouring metal, you can actually see something on them. Now, none of these coins are worth any money, they're all pretty shot, and so when you buff them up on this machine, you can sometimes tell what they are. And the soil around here really does degrade coins, it really destroys them. So I mean, that's George, there he is. We've all seen those, but didn't appear to be anything on it. Buff it up on the machine and you can see things. Button, general service, knackered. But just buffed it up a bit just to have a look, see what there was. I mean, even that Elizabeth II. Look how far degraded it is. But you buff it up, you can see what's on there. You get a couple of things that you still can't tell what they are. You know, look at that. I mean, it's just eaten away. Cartwheel. Just make out his mug on that one. It's a bit better than some that come out of the ground, but I mean, quite interesting. Nice when they scuffed a bit, but occasionally you'll find a little Roman. And there was nothing, I wouldn't have been able to tell, it just looked like a little lump, but you just make out a Roman bust on there and little figures. Wouldn't have known that was a Roman had I not cleaned it up. I mean, I wouldn't do it to any good coins, but you know, common and garden buckle. Again, horse brasses, look at them all, these loads of them that's been mashed. But they do shine. I mean, even something that's been completely beaten out with nothing on there. But it's quite interesting when you see it on the, when you buff it up after a while on the machine, and you even identify that some of them aren't even coins, they're just sort of metal, zinc or whatever. Ones I haven't done that one, but just in the bag with the others. So yeah, makes them shine, but they are well worthless. Wouldn't do it to anything nice. So I hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Please like and subscribe.